The next story is kind of weird. And I have to start off by asking you this question. Is it against the law for someone to disappear? Is it legal for you to just get up one day and decide to disappear? Well, that's the question that people are asking now. A North Carolina woman who has been missing for years apparently has been found and apparently was never missing. She just did not want to be bothered. I kid you not. I thought it was a joke at first. It's not. I want to show you this video when her daughter was looking for her. This was years later, and her daughter had been looking for her for a long time. She wanted answers after 20 years. Listen to this.
There's a million questions and no answers.
Amanda Smith has tried retracing her mom's path to Martinsville.
Many times, nothing.
Her mother, Michelle Hundley Smith, disappeared December 9th, 2001. She said goodbye to her 3 children, then left in a Pontiac transport van similar to this one.
There's not a Christmas that goes by that she's not running through my mind.
It's hard for Amanda to remember all the details 20 years back. Even picturing her mom at 38 years old isn't easy.
Sometimes it's harder to remember the way she looked, not in her glamour shots, but everyday life. And it's getting harder and harder. People say that it gets easier, but it really doesn't. You just tend to forget.
What she does remember about her mother:
she loved singing in the car, and she had a beautiful voice. She loved her Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn.
She doesn't know if there was an accident or if Michelle did make it to Martinsville that night. Amanda is holding out hope that someone will have information about what happened to her mom.
So again, 20 years at that time when this interview aired, her mom was missing for 20 years. And you guys have heard about these missing, people cases before, right? Like someone's missing and who knows how long. Like for some people, they may be missing for like a year, or like Elizabeth Smart, for example. I think she was gone for like a year and a half, and then, they found her. But 20 years. So by that time, the family members, they've mostly given up hope and they move on with their lives, right? So what would you do if it was your mom that had been missing for 20 years and you find out that she was actually never missing in the first place? That she just decided to leave and not return? How would you feel? That's why I wanted you to see what her daughter said first.
Something, more sinister happened. I care what happened to her. I want to know what happened to her.
We're appealing to the public. If you know anything, if you can be of any assistance, I don't care how insignificant it may be to you, it's significant to us and to the family. If you can help us, please provide some information.
So they were asking people for help at that point in time. They were still holding out hope 20 years later that the mom was still around. Well, it turns out that she is alive. She's been alive all this time. And it turns out that she was not missing. She just didn't want to be found. That is the kicker, ladies and gents. Listen to this. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but
we are on top of shocking breaking news tonight on WFMY News 2 at 11. A Rockingham County woman who's been missing for 24 years has been found alive and well. Michelle Hundley Smith disappeared while Christmas shopping back in 2001. While she's safe tonight, deputies say she doesn't want anyone to know where she is. All we know is that she was found in North Carolina. As you can imagine, this is a major development for Smith's family that spent more than 2 decades looking for her. WFMY News 2's Christina Dillon talked to one of her cousins about the moment she learned Michelle was alive.
For decades, Barbara Bird held on to a feeling that her cousin Michelle was still out there. Tonight, after 24 years of questions, she can finally say it out loud.
I kind of want to go outside and scream, she's alive, she's alive.
That's how Barbara Bird describes the moment she got the news. Her cousin, Michelle Hundley Smith, has been found alive. Smith was a 38-year-old mother when she left her Eden home in December 2001 to go Christmas shopping in Martinsville, Virginia. She never came home, and her car was never found.
So when I first heard this part, the first thing you may think is, okay, she left the house to go Christmas shopping. Maybe she was mugged. Maybe she was robbed, right? Like that happens a lot during the holidays. People are shopping for gifts and stuff like that. And she didn't come home. So it was like, maybe this was a mugging that went even crazier and she was kidnapped or something like that, right? And then I also thought about this fact, the fact that she didn't return home. I wondered, what if there was some type of abuse that was happening at home? What if she was a victim of domestic abuse? You may never know. But all this time, while law enforcement was looking for her and they were using resources and things like that, they never found her until now. And she was alive the whole time. Not kidnapped, not missing. She got in the car and decided to leave. Then I thought about this. I said, well, if she was a victim of domestic abuse, why would she leave the children? Because usually this is the biggest hurdle, right? If someone is in that situation and they have kids, they're like, well, I don't want to leave my kids with the abuser. I want to take my kids with me. So then I thought maybe that wasn't the situation. But she was 38 years old and she decided to go Christmas shopping and not come back home.
Years, her family didn't know whether they were grieving or waiting. They gave interviews, asked for tips, kept her name in the public eye, featuring her story on Dateline and true crime podcasts. Was it an accident, foul play, or did she walk away? They never knew until today.
The answer I got today was she was alive. Nothing else matters right at this moment.
Rockingham County deputies say they learned new information about her whereabouts this week through a nationwide law enforcement network. So they followed the lead and found her, alive and well. They say she's still in the state, but at her request, deputies say they're not sharing her location. The sheriff's office says it doesn't expect to file any charges.
So they're not going to file any charges. She does not want people to know her location. In other words, she does not want to be found. She really doesn't. I would think after all that time, like maybe she would at least want to see her kids or, see how they're doing. She does not want to be found. And a number of people were asking about this photo. Back in the day, there was this store in the mall called Glamour Shots. So this is a glamour shot photo where you would go in there and they would make you up and it would be like all glamorous and stuff like that. So people are asking like, what's the deal with that type of photo or whatever. But she doesn't want to be found. She clearly wants to be left alone. And I guess my question is like, the resources that went into trying to find her, like search and rescue, all of those things, when she wasn't missing at all. It's kind of weird. And someone mentioned mental breakdown in the chat. It makes me wonder too, like maybe this was like a mental issue where maybe she just felt she wasn't thinking clearly and just felt like, I just want out of this. I really don't know. I don't know how anyone can leave their kids. I really don't. I've never understood that. But I couldn't imagine my mom being missing for over 20 years. And then all of a sudden I'm told that she's not missing, that she is alive, but she does not want to be found. She does not want you to know her location. She ain't trying to speak to you. None of that. She just wants to be left alone. How would you feel? Because I'm thinking to myself, those girls, the family, they never get those years back.
For family, there are lots of lingering questions.
What happened all them years ago in December? What made you leave? What happened?
Bird says she's not angry and respects her cousin's request for privacy. Years ago, Smith's youngest brother asked Bird to keep a promise before he passed away. Tonight, she says she can finally keep it.
He asked me to promise that we would find her. And I'm going to say this out loud. She's okay, Brian.
Bird says Smith is still loved in Rockingham County, and she hopes one day they might have a conversation.
It's wild, man. Like, again, like I said, I didn't even believe this. At first, I was like, is this for real? They go into a little bit more detail here about how they found her. Mom, who vanished without a trace 24 years ago, found alive, leaving family with unanswered questions. And it just goes on to say here, I'll make this bigger for you. On Friday, February 20th, the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office shared that Michelle Hunley Smith, now 62, who was first reported missing in December 31st of 2001, had been located after detectives received new information about her disappearance. Goes on to say here, again, she's at an undisclosed location. At her request, her current whereabouts will remain undisclosed. Officials said the Smith family was notified that she had been located, and they were informed about her request to keep her whereabouts undisclosed. So I don't know, but maybe one day she will decide to sit down and have a conversation like with her family. I really don't know, but I do feel like if you were in that situation, how would you feel? Just knowing all those years you were hoping, number one, hoping that she was alive. And then you find out she's alive. So you're glad about that. But then you find out that she doesn't want to talk to you, you know? Just makes you think. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.